Good morning, YouTube. Hey, it's been a while. Been working hard. Lots of changes coming to our life. Yeah, God willing. And I will let you guys know with what I just commented there on what's coming up, some of the changes. We may not be traveling quite as much, or should I say, we'll be traveling a little bit differently. What I want to talk about today is we got a new motorhome. I did make a magnetic shade for the Canyon Star. Little did I know that I could have kept that and it would have worked on our Dutch Star that we have. That windshield is all but exactly the same, like a quarter of an inch difference, and that's really about it. But anyways, gave me the opportunity to make another MagneticShade and did some modifications, especially with the magnets. I will put a listing in this video of the magnets that I am using with that MagneticShade. Very close to the MagneticShade, or MagneticShade, however they pronounce it. And yeah, works great. And I am in the process now to making the door, the window, and then also the driver's door. Let me flip this around and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what I've done here, I don't know if you can see it, but I actually put one here on the driver's door. I made it. I'm going to be making one for over here. I actually have it with this here insulation on currently right now, but we are going to be taking that stuff off and putting MagneticShade. Very easy to make. I will show that one on video. I'm also going to be doing over here. Again, we have this insulation up right now, but I am going to be doing the MagneticShade. Currently what I am doing is I am making, no, this is not a rifle sleeve. This is actually a sleeve that I'm going to be putting on the windshield wipers. Now, I will show you how I did this one. I just have it so that it literally just slips all the way over. And I don't have it split here all the way down, just right here, up here at the top. And that's it. And then I just bevel it so it at the lower end of where it connects onto the wiper blade, it's just not a great big bulky piece hanging out there. So, but I needed to make it this wide so it goes over the knuckle or the attachment for the arm and everything for the wiper blade. So let me go ahead and just show you real quick how I am making this. You need to measure out your wiper blades, obviously, how long they are. And then measure out, for instance, I'm making mine 11 inches and just folding it. And that's enough that it will literally just slip right over. And I'll show you here a little bit later on the part where the wiper blade attaches to the arm. And I made it 42 inches long. So let me go ahead. I'll show you how to do this real quick. What I am doing is I am using a Sailrite sewing machine. It is a walking foot. You can use a regular sewing machine if you want to. It'll work. It's just that I have this special attachment on here right now that I can put the binding, and it goes through. As you can see, it'll just, you know, carry it through very easily. I don't know if you can see this. So it lines everything up for me very well. So I'm going to use this in order to put this here binding on. You can do it with a regular sewing machine, and I will tell you this, I'm not going to show you here, but you can do this. It might even turn out better if you do it that way, because this thing right here has a tendency to want to mess up on you quite a bit, and it's very ornery. It's just extremely ornery. But anyways, let me go ahead. Hopefully you guys can see me on this side. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do this rounded area right here first. That's all I'm going to do the whole way around. Just about here to here, and just give you an idea. Now on the corners right here, this thing does not work very well, and I'm going to have to walk it around the whole way and make sure that it actually will you know, go on very easily, very nicely, as nicely as I can possibly make it. The issue with it is that the corner is just too much of a rounded corner too quickly, and it doesn't want to, the binding doesn't want to lay very nicely, so you have to kind of work it out. Now I am going to lock it in a little bit there, and I'm just going to go ahead and work this around. Take your time, it's not a race.
that right around. And for some reason that actually worked very well for me this time. That is the first time, so honestly I didn't expect that to take place, for me to be able to go around that corner as easily as I did. It just doesn't work on these corners because they're just too quick of a round. And I apologize if I knock the camera here because I have it really close so you guys can kind of see. Hopefully you can. There, you can see how it's starting to walk its way over. So I just pick the foot up and kind of push it back down, and you might get a little bit of a fold there, but if I do, then oh well. Try not to, and then I'll just hand turn, and then I'll have to wind up doing it again. Otherwise it'll just go off, and it will really take your time. When I first started this, I had a heck of a time, and I wasted a lot of this material here. I had to keep taking it off and redoing it. You just have to take your time the best you can to make it work the best you can. See, I'm right on the fraction of going off of there, but it did catch it, so. Okay, so now I'll go up about, I don't know, 3 inches, and then we'll quit. We're going to back it, lock it in, and then we'll go ahead and just pull that off if you cut that off. And now what you want to do, I'm not going to fuss with this right here too much, because we're going to be bringing the other one, when we fold it, we're going to go right over top of this. Not that far, because it's going to be double the thickness, because we're going to be folded. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fold this up. I am going to pinch it shut with some clamps, where I'm just using regular clamps that you would use for sewing, and put these on and just fold this right down the middle the best I possibly can. Alright, so I'm just going to double that one up right there for now, because what I need to do is grab my other piece, and I'm going to measure something really quick. Well, not so much measure it, but, well, yeah, I am. Let me show you here in a second. Because what we do is we are going to bevel it so that it's not sticking way out. As you can see, this will just pull this out to here. And right about there is where I am going to start cutting it at an angle. So let me grab my marker. And guys, these don't have to be absolutely perfect. I mean, you want to make them look as nice as you possibly can, obviously. And yeah, so what we're basically going to do is just make a quick mark. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's where I'm going to cut it along there, and then we will go ahead and put on the binding. And guys, that is pretty much it. It's this simple. You just need the material. Again, I will show you a link in the description where you can buy all this material from Sailrite. And yeah, it is, in my book, I'll tell you what, for this here motorhome, it would cost $1,500 if I wanted everything through MagneticShade. And that's fine. You want to do that, you go for it. I'm not going to, yeah, whatever. That's just the way it is. I'm not going to do that. I love making things and making my own, and, you know, just giving me something to do. And so now I will just, I'm going to leave that squared, because I'm just going to probably, I'm going to round that tip. I didn't on the other one, but I am on this one. Ever just so slightly, I'm going to round it, because Then what I will do is come in with that right there, and it will just, you know, be one big long piece. The other one I actually, because I had to cut it afterwards, I just squared it, but hey, we'll be good. So anyways, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on this side, and we are going to just start walking this baby right through here and getting this all finished up. So let's just go ahead and get this started up. So I am just going to take that, pull it back a little bit, because this is doubled. Remember I said this is going to be really thick going through and through here. So I just want to do a small portion of it because I don't want to have to try to wedge that through there that tight. So, because that will be nasty. That will be nasty, nasty, nasty. Now, with this thing here, remember I said that this right here is kind of finicky. I actually have to hold up on this, and periodically it'll try to walk off too, even on a straight edge. So I might have to stop, and I might have to try to straighten it up a little bit. Make sure you lock it in. So take about 1 or 2 steps forward here. Now go back. And now let's start walking it through. And I have to hold this up on the upper edge and just hope that this will walk on through. Again, it's not a race, so take your time. And I'm going to get it right here. Once it starts to bubble up, I know I'm going to get a little bit of a fold. So I'm going to push it over just a little bit. Yep, getting ready to do it again. So I'll pick it up. Yeah, these things are not David proof, trust me. Very frustrating. But it, yeah, see, it's starting to walk off. It wants to walk off all the way now. So I might have just a little bit of a fold. And guys, I might be doing this completely wrong, but I have tried so many different ways. You have no idea how much material I have ruined and everything, just trying to get this thing to work right. So we're going to come right out to the end here. Whoa. That just took off on me. And now that one there completely missed it. I even tried a smaller, this here is a 1" and 1" binding and a 1" plate here. I even went down to a 7/8 plate just trying to see if that would help keep it tight, and it's not. It just keeps walking. It was worse actually, so that's not the answer for me. And I don't get it. I just really don't get it. But I even have the needle all the way over as far as I can get it. But even with all of this fiddling, you're going to see it doesn't come out really all that bad. Over here, just for an example, see how when I went around the corner, it pulled it this way too much, and it was rolling it. So now I missed this edge. So I'm gonna have to go back and just touch that up real quick to make sure it's down in there. And it's no big deal. You just do your best, try to make it look as pretty and as nice as you can. Now back it up and forward. That locks it in. Okay, so I have one little fold right here that I do not like, but you know what? It's going to be on the wiper, so I'm not going to complain about it. The rest of it came out half decent. So I'm not really going to complain that much about this. Everything else is caught. Everything is good. Good. I just have that one little fold right there, and that is it. Yeah. So let's go outside now and just see how these things go out there and see how they look. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that, but hey, looks pretty good. So yes, I am doing blue, just real quick to let you know, because we actually have blue in our paint. And I wanted royal blue, and they didn't have royal blue in this here particular material. They did in another material, but it was more of a screen type material. It was a little bit thinner, which was it's a lot cheaper. I will list both of them in there in the description. I will let you know which one I got. It is I think it's 19.99 or something like that, for a 3-foot length at 54 inches wide, which by the way worked perfect on our front windshield. 54 was just, I mean, perfect. Our windshield was actually 54.25, but after you get the binding and everything on it, it worked out just, it was perfect, perfect, perfect. So anyways, let's go put these on. All right.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and check this out. See how these things fit. And like I said, I just made them wide enough. If you can see this right here, I made it wide enough so it would slip right over this knuckle where the wiper blade connects to the arm. So it just goes right up over that. So there you go. MRV's starting to get dirty. You need to get that cleaned up. Being out in the desert, that's what happens. But anyways, so there you go. So what do you guys think? You tell me. I think they look pretty good. That'll protect that. So let's get a close-up. Keep the sun off those blades so they don't rot too fast out here in Arizona. So there we go. All right, guys. That's how we make these the wiper blade covers. They're very easy, very simple. And of course you can see I did the big window as well. Did it exactly the same way I did the Canyon Star, except I did put one extra one on the sides, just so you know. So, and then I also traced out and put around here the binding. Okay? Other than that, everything's pretty much basically the same.
Alrighty, guys. What we're going to do now is we're going to work on that small window over here on the passenger side. I need 36.5 by 14.5, and then we are going to round the outside edges, sew in some magnets, and yeah, let's go ahead and get it going here. So let's get this measured out, and then we'll go ahead and cut it out. All right, let's go. So I actually have to do this on my floor in the living room or in the motorhome. Obviously it's I do it outside, but man, it is hot out there. Oh my gosh. So I'm actually going to go slightly bigger. I'm going to go 14.5. I need 14.25. I like to make it just a tiny bit, little bit bigger, so that it actually, when you put the binding on, it'll go over top of the rubber part that's keeping the window in. And I'll show you here what I mean in a little bit. So we're just going to go, I guess, just a little bit. It flanges over, and it makes sure, it does make sure that the whole entire window is covered with everything. So what we're going to do now, I need 36.5. We're just going to say 37. Let's go up here and round these edges off. I'll probably just fold it like this, and then I'll take a can and round those off, and I'll show you how we'll do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to be using a small clam can. You can use a tuna. You can use, yeah, you can eyeball it, do it yourself. You can do whatever you want, but I'm going to use a clamshell can, which is the same size as a tuna. Okay, so I'm just using a black marker for this one. Chalk, be kind of hard to get up inside there close. So anyways, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just coming in right up to the edge, to the corner, and we're just going to go ahead and mark that, and that is what I'm going to cut. Now, what I'm going to do, put that cap on so that don't dry out, but what I'm going to do is take it and just fold it. Yep. Just going to fold that, make sure it's good and squared, and then we're just going to go ahead and cut that out together so each side is all but identical. So that's all we're going to do. So we're going to have it rounded like that. Okay, so go ahead and do the other side as well. And that's all I'm doing. Very, very simple to do. Very easy, just to give me my radius. That's all I want. Fold it and cut it. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we're going to need some of the magnet packs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay, so I'm going to put one here and one here. These are going to be different. The corners are going to be a little bit different than what I have, and I'll show you what those are. Shoot, I don't have any more. I'm going to have to make more. So I'll make them and I'll show you. I'll give you the measurements for those as well. I'll put all the measurements of everything down in the description so you have everything. But these, I got 4 of these, and these are going to go one here. I don't know if I'm going to do 2 down the side from just, yeah, you know what? I am going to do 2. That's a pretty big area. So I'm going to do 2 just to make sure it's secured. And then 1 on this side. Now what I might do is cut these down a little bit. Now these are a little bit these are the same size that I had on the door. But I'm going to cut those down just a little bit because I don't need quite that much. Besides, it's like, if you've seen that, it's like intruding pretty much into the middle of the window. You have this one over here and then this one over here. You only got like, you know, a couple inches there. So I don't have to, but I'm going to. I have scrap material that I cut my pockets for. And these I did 4 by 3s is what I cut these for. For the door, I have them cut there, but I'm actually going to cut these down a little bit more. So I think I'm going to cut them down. I'm actually going to come down to a 3-inch. See, that'll be, in my opinion, a little bit better on there because your magnet's only going to be sticking in there. So 3-inch by 3-inch is fine. I like that corner over there. I'm going to do these different. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like what I'm doing at all. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to do something slightly different. And let's see if that works. I think we're going to go that route. Yep. Okay, so we are actually going to be doing a 3 by 3, I think. Yep, we're doing 3 by 3. So do a 3 by 3 patch, take it, and you're going to line this edge here and this edge down here. Okay, you're going to round that to that radius right there on that corner, not up here. You're going to do it on the corner. Then we're just going to make a small little round up here on this corner as well. That'll look much nicer. So we need to do 4. I need 4 of those. So, all right, so we got 1, 2, I got 3 of those babies. I got 1, 2, 3. I don't know where I did my other one. So I have 4. Well, I didn't, did I? All right, so I gotta make one more of these. So we got 3 by 3, and there is a pattern on these, so you want to try to keep the, whoop, this one, that's the small one, and this way. Okay. So now we got to get this back up here, and I'll show you how we're going to go ahead and get these cut for this. So these are your corners, and what I'm going to do is just put that in underneath. Line it up on that edge and on this edge like such. And now we're just going to go ahead and mark that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, cut that off. All right, so these don't have to be perfect, again, because you're going to be covering them up with the binding, okay? This outer edge. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're doing is that's going to go in there like that, which we'll probably take out and put it up. Just go like that. Okay, and then when you go in, you're going to sew this right in with the binding. So I have 4 of those. Throw all this stuff on the floor and I have to clean up in. Okay, and we got 6 of these. So the sides. I'm just going to set those down over here on the side. And now get rid of all this stuff. That can stay here. These I'm just going to throw back in here. You don't need those. Now, what we're going to do some binding again. Yay. We're going to start at the, I'll just assume this is the top. So I'm going to start at the top, right in the middle, and we're going to start going. So let's go ahead and get some binding up here. Try to get some of these twists out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started in here. There we are. We are in there. Again, we're going to sew in the outer piece, or the corners, and also the sides as we're putting this binding on. So, oh well. Lock it in. Oops. I need to keep this light up that high a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see. I hope you can. Whoa. So now we're going to get my corner on. But what I'm going to do is I am actually just going to eyeball where I am going to put these other ones on. And then I'll just go straight across from the other side. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. So That ain't gonna work. I need to get me my dimensions. So we have 37. So what you're going to want to do in order to figure this out to make it look right, take 37, divide it by the amount of pieces. Divide it by, let's see, we got one here, so you got 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So you take 37 and you divide it by 3, which is what? 11? No. 10. Point. Now my head ain't working. All right, so we're going to mark it down 12.3 roughly. That was close. That was 13 and a half, but 12. We're just going to go to 12. So 12 and a half, and then I'll measure that out again. So, all right. Let's go ahead and keep going. When we get up to there, we're going to go ahead and insert our next pocket. Grab your next pocket, put it in there, center it up, and go. And it's starting to walk over again on me. Just doesn't make sense why it does it. Well, it does. Thread off there. Kind of come right over top of that, and then we're going to lock it in. There it is. Now lock it in. All right, so now get my bigger scissors here. Cut that off. And let's just go ahead and I'm gonna try to leave that on there. Just get rid of that. And see if I can just sew that on. There we go. Okay, so have your magnets ready to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to start right here on this corner. Okay. And we're going to start sewing. We're going to come around. Oh, you know what? I need to round that a little bit. Shoot. So we're just going to eyeball and we're going to round that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I totally forgot. I want to round this just ever so slightly. So there we go. We got that. So now that's what we got looking here. This one here actually walked off on me a little bit. That should be squared up a little bit more like that. But, well, it is what it is. Turned on me somehow. So be careful when you're doing that so that doesn't happen to you. But it's not going to look that bad. So I'm just going to go ahead. And then what I'm doing is I'm only just bringing it right along the edge of, I need to center my sewing needle and just bringing it right along that edge. Again, make sure that your needle is planted before you start turning the material. So now we're going to take the magnet and we're going to go ahead and slide it in here. Now, granted, if you're using a regular sewing machine and it has a metal top or anything, you're going to have to make sure that it's pushing through, because that magnet's going to want to stick to it and pull it. If it's a plastic machine, it's not going to be quite as bad, which most machines are, modern machines are plastic, but bring it in right to the edge and then reverse it to lock it in. Do about 2 stitches and then come forward again, and there you go. That one's done. So go the whole way around and get all your magnets put in, and then I'll show you how you do the outside then. Get things prepared for the outside to mount it up. All right, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Go ahead and get the rest of them done. We're going to go ahead, remember, peel off one back. Now I cleaned these off right here with alcohol. So we're going to go ahead, peel back on one side. Do not touch the back side, and just go ahead and put that down. Okay? And we're going to do that to all of these and get these all prepped and ready to go onto the window outside that we already have prepped and ready to go. So okay, so now once you get all these on, let's go ahead and let's take this outside and let's get this ready to hang. I'm sorry my camera did not pick up any audio for these here 2 clips. Just go ahead and clean the windows with alcohol. Make sure you do a very good job at this. Peel off the stickers in the back of the magnets and place them on the outside window there. Everything should just line right up, as you see me doing it here in the video.